Welcome back, first timers. Today, we're taking you to Emerald's Coast's newest brewery. It's called Woodfoot Beer Company right here in Fort Walton Beach.
Before we check that out, we headed to the oldest licensed distillery on the Emerald Coast, Rollins Distillery.
They specialize in rum and so much more. We'll see you there, and then we're going to bring you back here for beer and pizza.
First stop today is Rollins Distillery. It opened in 2011, and it's the oldest licensed distillery here on the Emerald Coast. So let's go on the tour and get to tasting.
This distillery was started by father and son team Paul and Patrick Rollins. Paul is the most interesting man in the world. Pilot, chemist, distiller owner, and he sure can tell a story.
We start everything with what we actually feed our yeast. And the technical term for what you feed your yeast is your food stock. And our food stock is molasses, specifically refiner's molasses, which we keep in these totes over here. And we get it from the U.S. sugar plant down in Lewiston, Florida. What we get from them is called refiner's molasses. They bring the cane in and do the crush. Take the cane juice and start boiling it down, comes a thick, hot syrup.
If you want to know all of the ins and outs about rum production and distilling, Paul is your man. He can go in depth about every single nuanced piece of the process, but he keeps it interesting and the stories just keep coming. On this tour, he shared the history, the fables, the legends, everything you want to know about rum and so much more. But this isn't just a rum distillery.
But to mature a spirit, the wood that barrel is made out of has to have two specific characteristics. It has to be a benign wood that puts no bad flavors into spirit, and a porous character such it'll keep liquids inside to allow gases to pass through the wood. Very rare set of characteristics in any wood. In all of North America, there's only one wood that fits the bill, American white oak. There are other woods that can be used around the world. There's 2 in Europe that can be used, 3 in South America, 1 in Japan, and I've started to hear about one that's also available in Africa.
I'm not going to give away all his stories, but right here, he teaches you all you need to know about vodka production.
So you never should be in a rush to slam down a spirit if you're tasting it neat. It will always improve if you wait. So always let the spirit air out. And the minimum time to let a vodka air out is all of 30 seconds minimum, a minute or more preferred. So ours is a cane vodka, comes from a sugar cane product or molasses.
We're going to taste their vodka now, so cheers.
We're all taken by somebody. One thing taken by a place in
Wow,
Delaware.
that's really smooth. Tastes really good.
It's a naval aviator.
Drinking at 10 o'clock, here we go.
The Marine Corps, which is a naval service.
Oh wow, it is real sweet.
384.
Really mellow,
So I'm in
floral.
And the French Criminals are famous for making rum from fresh squeezed cane juice. We make it from the fresh cane juice like that. It's much more botanical and grassy in character than anything made from molasses. We actually were able to make a test batch of a cane juice rum here. We were able to score 220 gallons of fresh cane juice from a farm over in Alabama. It's a bit on the higher proof end, but it's very smooth. If you take small sips, a technique for a higher proof spirit, you'll find it's very drinkable. So let it air out that longer period of time. I'll tell you how we actually were able to make this. We had been wanting to make a cane juice rum since we started this venture, but the farms up in North County, although they grow sugar cane at all the farms, typically they don't want to sell it to us because they use the cane to make cane syrup. Got a call from a farm over in Perdido, Alabama. And he had some more cane left over and wanted to know if we wanted to buy some fresh cane juice. So we met him over there with, took 4 of our blue drums over there, and we filled all 4 up to the brim with fresh squeezed cane juice. Brought it back, got it in the fermenters right away, and we're able to make this rum.
It has a very unique smell to it. Very botanical, lots of flavors going on in there. It's 104.7 proof, so you can take a baby-sized sip. Really good. It's got a little bit of a burn to it, but it's really mellow.
Definitely has a very interesting smell. It's completely different from the crystal rum. Oh, that's exciting. 104 proof, I like that. Nice little burn, nice flavor. It's a lot more complex.
But in Jamaica, they're not famous for making light rums. They make more robust and funky rum. They use the hot and dirty approach to fermentation. First, they ferment hot, above the comfort zone for the yeast, but not so hot as to kill the yeast.
But their special ingredient is
a putrid, stinking mud called muck. They use the muck as a vehicle to introduce the bacterial acids to the alcohol in the ferment. It's the bacterial acids themselves that present as putrid and stinky. When they contact the alcohol and spontaneously turn to esters, they change and start presenting as fruity. This rum needs to air out that longer period of time, 1.5 minutes minimum, 2 minutes or more preferred. So while it's airing out, I like to tell people about a certain phenomenon that goes on with spirits that most people are totally unaware of. That is, when you open a bottle of spirit and air gets to it in the bottle, the spirit will start to change in the bottle. Do nothing to preserve your spirit. By the time it's halfway down the bottle, it becomes a different tasting spirit. Do nothing to preserve your spirit. By the time it gets low in the bottle, it can go flat and harsh and be ruined. Found out it happens to all spirits, not just ours. None are exempt from it. Even the most expensive ones it will happen to. So I was determined to find out how to actually preserve our spirits here. And my breakthrough came when I found a thoroughly enjoyable YouTube video by a Scotsman in Scotland who's a connoisseur of Scotch. And his topic was how to preserve your very valuable spirits. One way is use a flame to burn the oxygen out of the bottle. To use a burning stick to use the flame, but never use a butane lighter. Alcohol loves hydrocarbons. The butane will get into your spirit and ruin the flavor forever. Another way is to have a bunch of pebbles with you. Keep dropping rocks in the bottle to keep it filled up so the air can't get to the spirit. And a third way is to have a succession of smaller bottles available so you can move your spirit as you deplete it into a smaller bottle. But he finishes talk about the historical ways and pulls out a can very similar to this. Modern technology, have inert gas in a can that has CO2 and nitrogen. Just spray into the bottle, puts a layer of inert gas sitting on top of the spirit, displacing the oxygen away from the surface. And he says it's the best way to preserve spirits today. We've been using it for a number of years in a tasting room. It's a double thumbs up. It really works.
Next up, we have our golden rum.
Interesting cocktail
It's aged in
called the
bourbon
Emerald
barrels.
Coast. It's green for the Emerald Coast of Florida.
It's really nice. Very, very smooth.
I was not able to find anybody at all in the entire United States of America that was actually making a rock and rum, bourbon, or brandy today. Nobody. Just a small handful of people are making rock and rye. So we started from scratch, started adding rock candy in 5-gram increments. We found a sweetness we really liked. We went with that. We looked into history of things, and turns out it's a bit of Americana. It goes back to the middle of the 1800s. So if you came in off the dusty trail, got a glass of spirit to enjoy while you rested up and thought it was a little harsh or hard to handle, you just dissolve some rock candy into it and it would smooth it right out for you. Along comes Prohibition, everybody forgot about these things. Plus they have mixers now, you don't have to use rock candy to make your spirit drinkable. But we found it in the manual, gave it a try, turned our rum into a delightful sipping dessert rum, worthy of drinking neat any time, and it's our highest award winner, won a double gold and best of class with the American Distilling Institute. So I'm pretty proud of it myself.
We have the rock and rum now, made with rock candy. That's really sweet. It definitely tastes like candy. Yeah. With a little burn.
Oh, this is perfect for the kids. Don't take my advice, though. It's like jungle juice without all the jungling. This is delicious. This could wreck you on a boat. Come in for this one, for sure.
They didn't have any instruments back in the 1700s on their sailing ships for measuring spirits. The test involved wetting the black powder with the spirit and then checking to see if the gunpowder will still burn. They're looking for that nice bright burn of the gunpowder, declare it to be a gunpowder-proof rum and suitable for purchasing by the Royal Navy. This is at 92 proof. It is not a bourbon. It is by class and type whiskey distilled from bourbon mash. It could have been a bourbon, but they put it into used bourbon barrels to mature instead of new charred barrels. One of the things they do to try to discourage you from doing such a sacrilegious thing is putting it into used barrels. They do not allow you to put an age statement on the bottle, but you can say how long it was stored. It was then sold to Stonecutter Distillery in Vermont, who barrel finished it in used Cabernet barrels. But in the first year of COVID, 2020, Stonecutter's investors pulled the rug out from under them. They had to cease operations and sell off assets. So due to their misfortune, a 750-gallon batch of this wonderful whiskey went onto the market. We're able to acquire it, and that's how we're able to offer it.
We made it to our next location. We are at Woodfoot Beer Company, and it's their grand opening day, and it is absolutely packed. They have a full bar and pizza.
It pretty much has been standing room only since we got here, but we were able to snag a table. So they make a number of beers here in-house. They have a bunch of different types and styles. They have a blonde, they have an amber, they have a hazy IPA, they have a contemporary American ale, and they have a sour. On top of that, they have a number of different beers on tap from other local breweries, and then they do have a full bar for cocktails. They do have some seating inside, but a lot of the seating is outside. They have some heaters. It's not an enclosed patio, but it is covered. So you're out of the elements, but you get a little bit of the wind if it's chilly like it is today. We just hit about the hour mark. We got our order in, so now we're gonna wait for the food to come out. It's really busy.
They're still working out the kinks, which is fine. I mean, today's grand opening, so just be a little patient.
Yeah, the staff's really nice that we met. Crowd's lively. So as soon as it warms up a little bit more, this is gonna be the place to be. Actually, it's already the place to be, and it's cold. So we've been told to get their pizza, but they also have some really cool looking salads. And they don't have wings, but they do have thighs. So we're gonna try the pizza, we're gonna try the thighs, and then they have a local favorite here, the Connecta sausage, which is a regionally popular sausage here in this local area. Any of you that have watched this before know that we don't really like beer all that much. It's just not something that we drink that often, but we knew we had to come out here because this is a brand new brewery right in downtown Fort Walton Beach, and it has a full bar, so that got Terry's attention.
Yay!
They brew 5 different beers in-house, and they sell them in pint size and then a smaller size, which we're gonna try, so we can try a few different options.
So is that pint size?
I believe that is. They also sell them in crowlers, which I think that's to go. Now, we're gonna try 3 of the beers that they have to offer today. The first one we're gonna try is the Ichiro, which is a dry hopped blonde that comes in at 3% alcohol. So that's a good jumping off point for us to ease into this beer situation. Then we're gonna try the Gladstone, which is a citrus amber, and that one comes at 6% alcohol, so a little bit higher. And then we're gonna finish off the one that I'm the most excited about, which is the 100 Brazilian. And that is a passion fruit sour ale that comes in at 5.3% alcohol. Sounds tropical, sounds exciting, and it sounds perfect for the beach. If it wasn't raining and so cold right now.
It's always raining and cold when we're doing these videos.
But if you're looking for something to do on a rainy day, you can check out our video right here where we did all kinds of rainy day activities right here in Fort Walton Beach. So it would be false advertising to say that we've never had beer, but I can't tell you the last time I actually tried a beer.
Same.
It has to be years. We're gonna start with the Ichiro, which is the 3% alcohol beer. I always start with the blonde and then work my way something darker. It's wet and it's cold. It's kind of nutty. It's almost like an almond.
It has a little nut flavor to it.
Interesting.
It tastes like beer. It's bubbly.
If you like beer and bubbles and wetness, this is probably for you. Now this is the Gladstone. This is the citrus amber. So it's double the alcohol and it's way darker. Definitely darker. A little bit richer. Maybe some light cocoa notes.
Smells like beer again. Yeah, I can taste the cocoa notes. It's definitely heavier than the first one.
Now, the one that I've been waiting for, it's less alcohol, 5.3%. This is the 100 Brazilian, and it's passion fruit sour. Don't like sour, but I do like passion fruit.
And you like Brazilian.
I do love Brazilians. Shout out to our Brazilian subscribers. Bom dia. That's sour.
Smells really fruity.
That one's a little bit of a sipper.
That's probably my favorite one.
It's pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't taste so much like beer. More like sour fruit juice.
It's almost like Sour Patch Kids because you get that sourness and there's some sweetness behind it. What we lack in beer expertise, we make up in food expertise. First up is the Connecta dog. Comes with peppers, onions, mayo, some words I don't know. It looks pretty good. It also comes with rosemary fries. They're crispy and hot.
Definitely crispy.
Oh!
Super hot. I love the rosemary. Nice amount of salt.
I don't think Terry's ever had Connecta sausage. I have. And I have mixed reviews. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. It just depends on if it's really well smoked, because then it kind of renders out some of that fat, because it's a little bit fattier. I kind of think it's kind of like a chorizo or maybe even an andouille sausage.
Interesting flavor. Not super spicy, but it has a little bit of a spice to it.
That's actually the best Connecta sausage I've had. And I've had a couple, and I would definitely come back for this one. It's got a lot of flavor, nice texture, and it's not too fatty. Next on deck, we have the chicken thigh nugs. The staff has told us that this is the best thing on the menu. It's crispy and coated in a potato flour. And it comes with a really nice dipping sauce that we're about to try.
That's the white Florida barbecue.
I love that for me. That thigh meat is juicy and tender.
Yeah.
The flavor's great. The coating is amazing.
Yeah, it's so crispy.
That white sauce, oh man, I'd jump in a pool full of that. I've never had thigh meat chicken nuggets, and I don't know why it's not mainstream. It's so much better than chicken breast. Typically when we're out trying food, we just kind of have to sample it, take it to go, because when we're eating all this food, you don't want to just pack it all in. We are absolutely crushing these chicken thighs. They are not going home with us. These are so good.
It's so good. I literally cannot stop.
2 thumbs up on this one.
That's a for sure try. You definitely have to get this.
It's so cold right now. We're starting to lose feeling in our fingers and toes. The only thing that's keeping me going is this windbreaker right here from Relentless Betrayal. We're not sponsored. I love their stuff. We do have a referral code that I'll drop in the link. And so if you like their stuff as much as I do, go ahead and use our link. But it's keeping us here right now because I'm a delicate tropical flower.
As we know.
The pizza has arrived. It's a giant Mondo, thick crust, crispy edge, cheesy monstrosity. You got short ribs, peppers, onions, blue cheese, mozzarella. You got all the things. It's called the Night Night, and I think I know why, because as soon as you eat this, you're going lights out.
Yeah, I think you're right. It looks heavy.
That's a thick gal right there. That's 2 C's. Short ribs real nice. Cheese is tangy. The blue cheese isn't overpowering and gross like it can be. That crust is thick.
Yeah.
And crispy.
It's almost like reminiscent of a pan pizza from Pizza Hut.
But fancy.
Yeah, not greasy and gross.
I was thinking like a focaccia maybe.
The edge pieces are really nice. Super soft, but crunchy on the outside.
You always need a strong side piece.
Definitely would recommend checking out the pizza too.
Come for the thighs, stay for the pizza.
Wash it down with the beer.
If you're into that kind of thing. If you like this video, make sure you check out this one right here, where we went to Timber Creek Distillery, which is Florida's most awarded distillery. And they also have really awesome pizza too. But thanks again for following along in this episode, and join us next time when we try something else new for the first time.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. First timers.
Bye-bye.